非常美的天气，我们今天来到了悉尼特别棒的一个区 Mosman， 然后呢，让我的好朋友 Jack 给大家介绍介绍这样一个美丽的区域，就在 Harbour 的旁边。Jack.
Yes, so Darren, like you said, we're in Mosman today, which is one of Sydney's most prestigious suburbs. This is where some of the most affluent and high-profile people live, where some of the best education and the best schools are. As you can see, we're harbour side. We've got uninterrupted views of the city, the Harbour Bridge, the Opera House. Now let's go and show everyone what makes this suburb so desirable.
Definitely. Jack, we're here in Mosman.
Yeah.
So where Mosman is actually located in this city?
Yeah, so Mosman's located on the northern side of Sydney. They classify this as actually the North Shore. Look, we're probably 8 kilometres or so from Sydney CBD, 15 to 20 minutes by public transport or by car. I guess the beauty about the location of Mosman is you're far enough away from the city to not have the hustle and bustle of Sydney CBD, and you get the upside of having large houses on large blocks of land. So in terms of, I guess, who actually lives in this suburb, it's generally the younger families. You know, the average age of an adult is 42. That they probably have, 2 or 3 kids who are in, some of the top private schools in all of Sydney CBD.
Are they all majority Australians?
Yeah, so the majority of the demographic who makes up Mosman are Australians, so over 60% are Australian nationals. But again, there's the other 40% who are made up of all different nationalities. It is a very multicultural place to live for sure. Darren, something else very, very famous about the suburb of Mosman is Taronga Zoo. I mean, this zoo is world renowned. It gets over 1.5 million visitors per year from all around the world. And I don't think a lot of people actually realise that it is in the suburb of Mosman, because lots of people come from Sydney CBD when they're staying there, and they come over on the ferry. You can actually get here by road.
对，好多朋友可能都不太知道啊，其实悉尼非常著名的Taronga Zoo 这个动物园呢，就坐落于 Mosman 这个区域。然后呢，如果在悉尼附近的朋友不通过 ferry 的话，你也是可以驾车到达这个动物园的。Hey Jack, so when you come to Mosman, where would you go for cafes and foods?
Yeah, so right now we're obviously sitting in the heart of Mosman Village. This is probably the most central part of all of Mosman. You can walk from the majority of the residences in Mosman to here. And this strip has all of the people's favourite cafes, all of the best restaurants, all of the best, behind us we have one of the most popular pubs where you can have, alcohol and an enjoyable Saturday night. And I guess another really good thing about it is it's flooded with public transport. You've got a bus route constantly. There's probably buses every couple of minutes to get in and out of the CBD.
So people says Mosman is the Porsche Postcode.
It is, yes.
If you have no limit on budget, which streets you gonna live in?
Yeah, so there's probably 3 main streets or 3 top performing streets in Mosman, those being Hopetoun, Awabba and Raglan. Now the property to our right here is actually the most expensive property to ever sell in Mosman. We're talking 25 million Australian dollars on over half an acre, so over 2,500 square metres of land, waterfront, tennis court, 6 bedrooms. If money is no object, then this is one of the most prestigious streets in all of Mosman. And we're actually in a pocket of Mosman called Balmoral. So Balmoral is on the eastern side of Mosman, the furthest eastern point of Mosman. It has its own beach, and it's just incredible. You've got a lot of investment bankers who live here, a lot of retirees who have had a lot of generational wealth. And it's just a place where, your neighbours are people who have built very, very large portfolios and have a lot of wealth in their family.
What is the average, the size of the properties in the area?
Yeah, so it obviously changes from street to street. The street we're on here now, you'd be talking over 500 to 600 square metres would be average. The properties on our right hand side, like I said, they're in the 1,500 to 2,000 square metres. But you know, I would say the average block size in Mosman will be somewhere around that 1,000 square metre mark, which in Sydney
is
very, very big.
Generous.
You know, 8 kilometres from Sydney CBD, 1,000 square metres is a quarter-acre block, which is huge.
Yeah, it is. Hey Jack, we've seen the Taronga Zoo and the cafes in here. What else we can do in Mosman?
Yeah, so you know, Mosman is a suburb that really has it all. You don't really need to leave. You know, in Sydney, it's very, very unique to have a suburb that is harbourside, which gets views of the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House, and also has a beach. So we're walking along now Balmoral Beach, which, as you know, in Australia, people love beaches. They love to swim. They love to enjoy the beautiful weather we have here. So in summer, it's very, very popular. Over in front of us, we have the Spit Marina, which is where you know, people moor their boats for people who enjoy the harbour and enjoy boating. And then behind us we have Sydney Harbour National Park, which is, you know, a place where you can enjoy nature, enjoy walking, enjoy bushwalking, but you're still so close to Sydney CBD, which is very, very unique.
The lifestyle everyone enjoys in Australia.
Exactly right. It's a suburb that has the lifestyle everyone wants, which is why the suburb is so in demand regardless of the market conditions.
Yeah, it is. What are the schools in the area?
Yeah, so you know, I guess another great thing about Mosman is they're blessed to have some of the best performing and highest calibre schools in all of Australia. So you know, you've got I guess the top private schools being Redland and Queenwood Girls.
Yep.
And then some of the top public schools, which is obviously government backed. Those schools being Mosman Primary, or you know, that's for 0 to year 6. And then you've got Mosman High School, which is from year 6 to year 12.
Wow.
But then also being in Mosman, you know, if those schools aren't suitable for you, or you'd like something else because of religion or whatever that may be, you're so close to all the other parts of Sydney that if you wanted to go to a school in the eastern suburbs, or you wanted to go to a school in the upper North Shore, you're still only, you know, between 15 minutes and 30 minutes to get to those schools.
That's great.
So Darren, at the end of all of the shows, we like to give the viewers a finance and a buyer tip. So what's your finance tip for this week?
Yeah, so as we're still under COVID-19, I would say take this COVID-19 thing as an opportunity to review your spending habits, your lifestyles, just to get this right before you go to finance. People won't realize that until they really get into the point when they look at the bills. Wow, I'm spending so much every week. So that is something we have to take care every day, not until the time you get the loan application.
Yeah, so what you're saying is before you want to go and get a loan, have a look at your spending habits, have a look at, you know, all the outgoings and reel all that back in, so when you go and apply for the loan, your serviceability is a lot higher and you can borrow more money off the bank.
Yes, and that's very important for all the lenders in the market at the moment.
Right, okay.
And yourself, what about the buying tips?
Yeah, so I guess my buyer tip for this week is again, relative to COVID-19. A lot of people at the moment are trying to time the market. Everyone wants to jump in at the market at the lowest point because they feel like they're going to make the most amount of money. And as we know from history, that never works because we cannot predict what the future holds. So my tip would be, don't try and pick the bottom. Use this, I guess, situation we're in as an advantage and just find the perfect property, because regardless if you buy today or 3 months or in 6 months time, it's not really going to matter the price you pay in 10 years time. It's about finding the perfect property that suits your needs, that's going to make you happy and that has the most upside for capital growth.
Very true.